This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
God has blessed us here at Northwest Hills United Methodist Church. We have wonderful facilities for the worship of God and service to our community. With this beautiful campus, though, comes a burden of debt. The Lord said, "Listen to my words. When a prophet of the Lord is among you, I reveal myself to him in visions." Numbers 12:6. We have a vision to roll back the stone of debt and set our vision free for expanded ministry.
We have a vision that was set several years ago, offering God's love, building believers. And we're about that vision, but we feel encumbered a bit by the debt we have. It's manageable and we're paying well on it. But we're aware that, in our opinion, too much of our resources are going toward that debt retirement as opposed to going to ministries or going to more essential things that we can spend on our church. So setting free the vision is simply freeing up resources so we can be about what we want to do here on our campus.
Well, the theme of our campaign is Set Our Vision Free, obviously referring to debt, but I see the vision as encompassing both better support of programs that we have going and expansion of those programs to build for the future. As most people recognize, organizations that are static don't stay static. They tend to slide downhill. And one of the things that we have always looked ahead in this church is to its growth. Growth in not only just numbers of people, but in better support and better performance of our various programs. So my vision here is to not just support what we're doing better, but to also look ahead to the future in trying to meet needs that will allow the church to expand and be refreshed and reborn as time goes by.
I think that we have a potential unlimited on the ministry that we can reach. My wife is the chairman of the Angel Food Network, which is a grocery type network ministry that we're doing here, and it's growing unbelievable, and I think like all of our ministries are growing unbelievable, but for us to grow we need to have the money, and with so much money in debt that we already have that we could use, I think that's a start, and this capital campaign is a big reason that I want to spend my time and spread the word, work on this debt, and with y'all, with your help, everybody's help, this is an easy reach for us.
That fits into the vision statement, offering God's love and building believers. As individuals, we live that commandment that says, go make disciples. But what does that mean as a church? And if we free up funds, it just means that we can just explore. In turn, we're going to get people that are going to come back because they become familiar with the church in a very safe way. Maybe it's the Friends of the Arts and tying into the reception that they have once a month. Maybe it's just more postcards in general. I just think there's just endless ministries already happening in this church, and does the neighborhood know about it, and how can we use that and expand on that?
Is that we could expand our presentation to the community for being a home for the arts. This has been a marvelous outreach ministry for our congregation to reach hundreds of people every month, to bring them into this place and to have them understand that this is a house of God, and then to have the Friends of the Arts program where they greet from the narthex and bring a face to each of the concerts has been very positive. So we'd like to enhance that ministry considerably. I would love to see us enhance our beautiful worship setting even more with banners, with additional paraments to cover the communion table, the pulpit, and the baptismal font. We also have a desire to increase the beauty of the building just around the sanctuary itself, And so I can see where funding would allow us to do that so that it would be an even more beautiful place to worship God.
Well, I would like to see us build on the rich history of what we already have here at Northwest Hills. And we have financial monies and volunteers going to many ongoing programs such as Faith in Action Caregivers, our food pantry, the homeless breakfast. We provide school supplies and Thanksgiving baskets. Of course, our United Methodist men and United Methodist women have a rich history of missions. We have some newer ministries going right now, Angel Food Ministries and our Asbury Partnership Project, where we've just poured an extensive wheelchair ramp and we've done repairs to the preschool building, and we're planning a vacation Bible school in that neighborhood this summer. We also have international connections in Nicaragua and in Russia, and we do support the Southwest Texas Conference Russia Initiative and a missionary in Russia. And we're planning on going to Mississippi and to Mexico with adult mission trips this year. But the reality is our missions budget right now doesn't even cover our financial commitment to the homeless breakfast to provide breakfast. So what our mission team ends up doing is spending a lot of time figuring out ways to fund the things that members want to do. So as I dream of not having to worry about funding for the things that we come up with.
When I first had heard that we were doing the Capital Fund campaign, I thought it was a great learning experience for me. But it wasn't necessarily a fancy campaign. It was to retire debt, and I wasn't sure what people's responses were going to be to that. But when I went to one of our meetings that we had, that the Finance Committee was hosting, and they actually broke down the numbers for us, I was amazed that this campaign would save us $1 million just in interest. Interest that's going it's going to banks, and we have no control over that money, and we've earned it and we're giving it out of our love, and yet it's going to pay interest, $1 million. So that was really the nail in the coffin for me as far as getting involved and really being excited about this campaign. It's exciting to think about the possibilities that we have. We don't know what kind of a congregation we'll be in 4 years and how our vision will have already been fulfilled and will have changed. But there's a lot of things, I think, that each of the committees wishes could happen, and that would be something that hopefully all of this talk about visioning will inspire them to do that sooner rather than later, and not to wait for all that money to be freed up.
Under the children's ministry, I handle those children from birth through 5th graders. And on the rolls, there's 140 on the rolls. On a Sunday morning average, there are about 100 that are here. The money that is freed up after the debt reduction, I can see us in the children's ministry. There are a couple of different things that I'm looking forward to, and that would be to have children's furniture in a couple of our classrooms that right now have adult furniture in them. Another thing that I can see is that my classes that are in the Family Life Center, that are the youngest children, those are designed for just 10 children. As we grow, they're not going to be able to fit into that. So I can see us finding some way to redesign those rooms so that more children, as the congregation grows, we have more children in those classrooms.
Setting our vision free for the youth ministry at Northwest Hills, gosh, I mean, this is really an interesting time for our youth ministry because we're really taking time to reevaluate and dream and vision for what our youth ministry could really be. And so we're really encouraging people to think outside the box. And so right now I don't know what that is. I'm anxious to see what people could come up with. It may be small groups in the middle of the week, or Bible studies, or musical groups. We're open to the possibilities that God has in front of us, the ways that we can reach people better. But we want to continue reaching out and reaching up.